Okay, I know we're live on Facebook. I'm trying to be live. Sorry about that. We had a break. Okay, so just give me a minute. We're trying to make sure we can sort out Instagram. So while you're watching, you can just introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from while we're trying to set up Instagram. What questions you want to be answered today? All right. Yeah, there we go. Just one more minute. Yeah. All right. So sorry about the delay. Sorry about the delay. I think that we will be back. We're back now. Hi, Michael from Dubai. Hi, Nlala Vikazi from South Africa. We have loads of from Vancouver, Canada. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that we had internet issues. So, all right. So let's get straight to it so that we can just cover some time. So we began to talk about just the basic concept on, this is what we began to talk about. This is what we began to talk about. We began to talk about the basic concept of how to deal with marital delay. That's what we began to talk about. How to deal with marital delay. How to deal with marital delay. All right. So the first thing I wanted to say is this. How do you know you are delayed? Which is the first question. How do you know you're delayed? And I said that one of the things you just have to really check is this. If I'm posting you a letter and the letter is meant to get to you, by Saturday 4 p.m. If you know that the letter is meant to get to you by Saturday 4 p.m., then you know if the letter does not get to you, that you are delayed. If you have no idea when the letter will get to you, and all of a sudden you say, I'm delayed. The question is that, how do you even know you're delayed? That's the question. How do you know even you're delayed? Because you didn't even know when the letter should get to you. So the reason I'm saying so is that many people that think they are married, they are delayed maritally, the reason why they feel that way is that they are looking at somebody else, a friend that is married, they are looking at a cousin, they are looking at some other kind of thing, they're thinking, this is the reason I'm delayed. So for you to really conclude you're delayed, that means you understand what your divine purpose and timing is. You understand what season you are in, and you're saying that this is a season I need to be married, and I've passed that season. A lot of people that say they are delayed are just putting themselves under pressure. They're just putting themselves under pressure. There is no need for delay, actually. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for understanding that. The second thing is this. Either you understand it or not, not everybody will get married. And that's something we have to be comfortable with. Not everyone will get married. Not everyone will get married. That's the truth. Not everyone is going to get married. And you need to understand that because, and there is nothing wrong with you if you don't have the capacity to marry. One of the things I've seen is people that are not meant to marry, that go into a marriage and they force it. They force it. That's what happens. They eventually force it, and they stay in the marriage for 1 or 2 years, and they have to break up. And the reason why they break up is this: they are not willing to deal with all the challenges that comes in marriage. Because if you're going to marry, you're going to sacrifice, you're going to share. it's not just that easy. You know, the same way it's not easy to be single, it's not easy to get married. The same way it's not easy to be single, it's not easy to be married. The same way it's good to be single, it's good to be married. So it goes both ways. Each of them have benefits and disadvantages. That's the truth. If you're single, there are things you can do. You're single. You can spend your money on yourself. You can do things yourself. You don't have to think about somebody else and all of those kind of things. When you're married, the same things are different. You have to think about somebody else. You have to, share your life with somebody. That's what it is. Someone says it's better not to be married. Listen to me. It's also better not to be single, because when you're single, there's nobody to share your life with. There's nobody to partner with. Nobody that can listen to you. There's nobody that can connect with you, and we're in this together. The same thing in marriage, you have that thing, but it's challenging. So the same way it's for single people, they have their challenges. The same thing for married people, they have their challenges. The same way single people have their, they have their, what they call it, they have their love, they have their joy, they have their happiness. The same way married people have their love, joy, and happiness. Someone else says this. Someone says that, marriage is so horrible right now. That is a big lie. There's nothing wrong with marriage. Let me tell you something. There is no good and bad marriage. There is no bad marriage. It's the people that are in it that makes the marriage good and bad. When two selfish people get married, they have a selfish marriage. When two generous people get married, they have a generous marriage. When two good people get married, they have a good marriage. When two bad people get married, they have the bad marriage. Marriage does not bring in itself. It's what you bring into it. So the question today is that, what do you bring into your marriage? That's what it is. So don't say, oh my God, marriage is so horrible. No. The reason why that marriage you're talking about is horrible is that one or two partners brought that thing into the marriage, and that thing made the marriage horrible. So marriage by itself, it's nothing. It's like a car. It's what you bring into. Say, this car is smelling funky. The reason why the car is smelling funky is exactly what you brought into it. So if you brought goodness into the marriage, then it will be good. If you brought horrible things into the marriage, it will be horrible. It's not about the marriage, it's what you bring into the marriage. So the question is this: what do you bring to marriage? And let me say this quickly. Most people, this is one of the biggest mistakes single people make. They hope to get married, and that they are hoping that marriage would give them something. So they go into marriage to collect something, to receive something. Let me tell you, the biggest shock is this. When you go into marriage to receive something, you will be depleted. You know why? A depleted partner cannot make a fulfilling marriage. And that's why I say to you, if you are single and you are not whole, you cannot have a whole marriage. The reason why is this: you're already empty. You're bringing your emptiness into your marriage. That's what's happening. You're bringing your emptiness into your marriage. You're bringing your emptiness into marriage. So let's dive into this. Today I want to talk about the issue of delay. So we spoke previously about why people are delayed. We said some people are delayed because they are single, and we said some people are single and they are not available. So what example are people? And I give different examples. Some people are single and they are not available. They are single, but they're emotionally involved with someone that cannot marry them. What does that mean? Some people are single and they are not, their emotions are somewhere else. Let me give an example. So you have this guy that broke up with this girl 2 years ago, and the girl maybe hurt him on all of those things, and the guy cannot enter in that relationship because his emotion, his heart is stuck in the past. There are some other people that this is what's happening to them. They are really, really dating right now. And they are not dating right now. And the reason why they're not dating is simple: because they are hurting from the previous relationship. So they are single, but emotionally they are not available. The question I want to ask you today is this: are you single and available emotionally? That's what I want to ask you. Are you single and available emotionally? A lot of people are single. So there are people that are single and not emotionally available. So some people, their emotion is stuck in the past. Then the second thing is this: there are people that are single and experience delay because they stay in a wrong relationship for so long. They know this guy is not going to marry them. They know this girl is not going to marry them. But for some reason, they just stay there, either because it's comfortable, either because they're afraid, either because they're just really there. They're just really there. So that's some reason why some people are stuck there, because they just feel the safety there. So we're talking about dealing with marital delay. Some other people are delayed because they are just afraid. Some other people are delayed because they are just afraid. You know, that some other people are delayed because they're afraid. What does it mean that they're afraid? They maybe because of the experiences that they've had, maybe because of the challenges that they've had, they've just not been able to deal with that fear. So so you hear people like they want to fall in love, but they're afraid of falling in love. So as soon as this guy shows up and the guy, you know, comes in this car and all of those kind of things, they all of a sudden their fear, there's that red flag that rises up within them. So some guys want to date people, but because of the bad experience they've had in their previous relationship, they are not able to date because they're really afraid. They're afraid they don't want to get a divorce. They're afraid they don't want to be unmarried. They don't want to be unhappy. They're afraid that they don't want someone to take their money. They're afraid they don't want someone that will take their job or things like that. That ladies are afraid that I don't want to be married because I don't want a man to suppress me. And this is the thing. Listen to me. You can be negative and have a positive result. Negativity is contagious. You can't be negative and have a positive result. You can live in relationship or marital fear and really expect for you to have a stable relationship. And if you are emotionally unstable, we can help you and get to a place where you're stable. So that's some reason why some people are delayed. Some people have that fear. I really want to focus, just because of our time, I want to focus on mentalities and mindset. And this is something that I began to deal with. You know, some last week. You can go back to the last week teaching. It's on YouTube at Harvesters TV. It's on Facebook at Harvesters NG. And it's on IG at what they call it, Bolaji ID. So this is the first. I dealt with a lot of wrong mentalities people have. So I want to deal with mentalities. So number one negative mentality that makes people actually become delayed. One of them is the scarcity mentality. You know, when I talk to single people, I'm like, hey, how is relationship going? They say, oh, where are the guys? They're not responsible guys. It's somewhere in their mind that, you know, the guys to marry they're very scarce. And the reason why is that this is what the Bible says, as a man think in his heart, so is he. So you really think that love is scarce, you think that true love is scarce, and you think genuine guys and women that want to marry you that are very scarce. You know what happens to you over time? They become very, very scarce. The reason why is this: you see life through your lenses of your mindset. That's how you see life. Because you said the guys are very scarce, you know what happened? Eventually, you don't see the guys. That's what exactly you see. So the question is this: when it comes to dating, do you have an abundance mindset? What is an abundance mindset? Do you have the thinking that there's a lot of love out there looking for me? There's a lot of love out there looking for me. There's just so much love. There's love looking for me. I don't have to be craving for it. And once you have the scarcity mindset, the next thing is this: you will become needy. And needy produces the negative energy. See, let me tell you something. You can be needy and smart, you know, you can be needy and you hide it. But because you are needy, it's a negative energy within you. It's going to show and spread. When people have a negative mindset, some people are very intelligent and very intellectual, so they know how to manage it. So you have ladies that are needy, you have guys that are needy, but they're so educated, so they know how to appear not needy. The challenge is this: you are going to say something, do something that will seem so normal to you, but will show that you are needy. It will show you're needy. So the thing is not to hide your neediness. The thing is to deal with it. And how do you deal with it? Just accepting that, you know what, I'm desperate. And you know why? Anything you can acknowledge and dialogue with in a mindset, you can fix. The Bible calls it pulling out strongholds. The biggest mindset you cannot fix are the one you operate in without any conscious knowledge. You just, like, they have a hold on you. You don't even know what's going on. So if you need it, if you're desperate, you just say, you know what? Okay, Vanessa, you are desperate. John, I am desperate to get married. But I'm so desperate to get married. But I know that being desperate will not help me. So I acknowledge that I am desperate. So how can I solve this? Most people are desperate, but they suppress it, they hide it. It's just a matter of time. Those things will bubble out. It's just a matter of time. Those things will bubble out. It will be obvious. It will be obvious that you're desperate. It's going to happen that you're desperate. It's going to happen that you're desperate. So I'm talking about, instead of you hiding it, why not think of how to get a permanent fix on this? Why not think about how to get a permanent fix on this? And say, how do I deal with the desperation so that my desperation does not come up the wrong way? And let me ask you something. Why are you desperate to get married? So, and let me tell you something. Most of the people that I know that are desperate, if you tell them you're desperate, oh, no, I'm not, no. You can't say that. I'm not desperate because, and the reason why is that they're not even able to acknowledge the fact that they're desperate. But the question is this is how you deal with your desperation to get married. Why are you desperate? One, because you feel as if marriage would do something for you can never achieve as a single person. And most of that is a lie. Listen to me. If you cannot be happy as a single person, you will never be happy as a married person. That struck you deep, right? I'm going to say it again. If you are not happy as a single person, you will never be happy as a married person. Because your happiness is not in a person. Your happiness is not in a thing. Your happiness is in you. It's a decision. Let me tell you something. A lot of you are listening right now, and maybe you feel as if I'm unhappy, I'm depressed. Listen to me. You can choose to be happy from this moment because your happiness is not in the thing. That's what you want yourself to think. Everything you think will make you happy, some other people have it and they are not happy. And just let me shock you. Some of the most lonely people in the world are married people. Let me say that again. Some of the most lonely people in the world are married people. Because you think that you are so unhappy and all of those things because you're married. It doesn't work that way. And I'm saying this to you because this is what you have to fix. So let's go ahead. Some of the most lonely people in the world are married people. And I know that from experience because when they come to my office, when they come and talk to me, you hear the conversation. You hear the conversation. You hear the conversation. You hear the conversation. So what do you want to ask yourself is why am I so desperate? That's the thing. You know why? Why am I so desperate? The reason why is this. Once you know why you're desperate, you can fix why you're desperate and you can detach your marital goal from what makes you desperate. Someone say, I'm so desperate because I feel as if I marry, marriage will make me happy. So that's wrong. Someone says, I'm so desperate because I find I need someone to share my life with. If you need someone to share your life with, if you cannot share your life when you're single, you will not be able to share your life when you're married. The truth is that you just don't know how to share your life. That's what it is. It's not about marriage. You just don't know how to share your life. There are people that are married and they can't share their life with their husbands or their wife. And not because there's nobody for them. They just don't know how to share your life. People really think that marriage is this magical drug that's going to come upon you like a spell and change you radically. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. So why are people delayed? Why are people delayed? So I've explained to you that people are delayed because they are afraid. People are delayed because they are hurting from the past, so their emotion is stuck in the past, so they are single, but they're not available. People are delayed because they are not just hurting from the past. Some people are stuck in the past. Some people are distracted. So there are people that, they're distracted by their job. They're distracting themselves. Some people are distracting themselves. That's why they're delayed. Some people are distracting themselves. Okay, I hear that, I'm not sure if you can hear me well because I see that some of you are saying some things about the network. All right, so I'm just going to keep going on, and thank God that you can watch this even later on. All right, so let's sink down into this some more. So, two more mindset I spoke about when it comes to delay and marriages. Too much mindset when it comes to their marriages. Another mindset you want to think about is this. This is one of the major mindsets you want to think about. Is this. Is the mindset that says, am I lovable? So what is that mindset? The mindset, someone says, What about a woman that a biological clock is ticking? So you just need to find out what that means. I understand what that means, but behind it, there are other needs attached to it. But that's not for this discussion. So this is the next question. Someone says, okay, what's the mentality? Lovable. So this is what I want to say. Do you know a lot of people struggle with love? And what do they struggle with love? They cannot even love themselves. And this is why I started from. I said, listen to me. If you don't love yourself, it's very difficult for someone else to love you. If you don't love yourself, it's very difficult for someone else to love you. If you don't love yourself, the reason why is this: if you don't love yourself, it's difficult for someone else to love you. It's difficult. All of you struggling on Instagram, you can join me on Facebook at HarvestesNG. I heard that it's stronger there. I heard that it's better there. So if you don't love yourself, it's difficult for someone else to love you, because you don't love yourself. You cannot see. If you don't love yourself, you cannot even receive love. I don't know if you know that. If you don't love yourself, you cannot even receive love, because you don't love yourself. So this is what happens. This is what happens. And I noticed this because this was me in the phase of my life. I wanted some deep intimacy. I wanted some deep relationship. And you know what happens? As far as I find that intimacy, I become afraid of the very love I wanted. I become really afraid. I really wanted love. But the moment I have love, I become really afraid of the very love I wanted. And the reason is very simple. Because I'm not used to love. I become really afraid of it. I become really afraid of it. Of the very love I wanted. And you know, as much as people want love, people just mess it up. And you hear them say things like, you know, I don't know that's real, you know, I think that's difficult, I think this is that, I think this is this, and think this is that, and they begin to struggle. And the reason why they struggle is this: by themselves, they don't love themselves. A lot of people just, see, let me tell you something. If you don't love yourself, I want to ask you, how will you love somebody else? If you don't love yourself, how will you allow someone else to love you? If you don't love yourself, it will be difficult because if you don't love yourself, you cannot even receive love because you're not used to it. Listen to me, it's like food. Whatever food you're not used to, you will struggle to eat it. If you don't love yourself, it's difficult for someone to love you, for you to love somebody else, because you don't love yourself. And where does that start from? And it starts from childhood. It's someone who's experienced as a child. We start saying things like, you know, because we've been taught that for you to be loved, you have to be perfect. Listen to me. There's nothing. Someone says, what's the Facebook page? It's HarvestersNG. 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 If you want to move to Facebook, it's HarvestersNG. So if you don't love yourself, it's just very difficult. It's just very difficult to love somebody else. Because the thing is this: you don't even know what it is to love. So you don't even know what it is to give to somebody else. And when someone loves you, because you are not used to it, you mess it up. And that's why you find yourself really dating and going after people that always abuse you. And the reason why they always abuse you is because they know you're not used to love. It's obvious you're not used to love. It's obvious you're not used to love. So Today we want to talk about that. And the first thing is this. So this is the graduation. So everybody, have you noticed? When you know you're lovable, you're just yourself. Every child believes that I'm lovable. So what every child does, no child is embarrassed. No, every child is himself. Every child, because you know you're lovable. Every child is himself. Every child is himself. Because the child understands I'm lovable. Every child is himself. The second thing is this. So everyone is born and everyone goes, oh, I'm lovable. Then the second thing that happens is this. So this is what happens when we was as young. When we're young, we're lovable. Everybody cares about us. Then people start getting distracted and you'll be like, oh, they will not start craving for their love. Because as children, We'll define love by our experience with our parents. We'll define love by experience with our parents. We'll define love by our experience with our parents. So that's exactly what happens. So when I say please love me, so when we don't experience love, without conclude and make a conclusion, I am not lovable. We begin to say things like that. I am not lovable. Where do you get that from? We get it from experiences. And we say, because I'm not lovable, there's the way, excuse me everyone, I seem to have a lot of challenges on Instagram. So maybe I should end the Instagram and start again. I'm just going to end it and start again. Just give me a minute. I'm going to go back live on Instagram. Okay, are we back live from there? It needs to be off. Yeah. All right. So sorry about that. I know a lot of people are struggling, here and there. I'm so sorry. It's just a network. All right. So all of our Instagram families, they can come back and, watch the videos. All right. So back to the conversation. So the conversation is this. That's where you start from. I'm lovable. That's where you start from. I'm lovable. That's where you start from. So let me just show you some patterns. So when people, so how do people get to a point where they don't feel they're lovable? So what happens is that it's comparison. So when you're young, you begin to compare yourself with this and compare yourself with that and compare yourself with this and compare yourself with that. The second thing is that people begin to attach love and condition together. People begin to attach love. So you will see girls that say that if I can really sleep with him and give him this, kind of sexual style that is crazy, this sexual style that is crazy, it's going to be this and this and this and this and this and this and this, but that's what it is, The next thing I want to talk about is this. When people don't feel lovable, sorry everyone, I really get distracted because I think the network is poor. So the people on Instagram are really, just going here and there. So, but I'm going to continue. Whatever we can't continue today, we'll continue next week. We'll find a way to, to put out the conversation. If you cannot watch it today, I will just do a proper video and just post it online for the whole teaching. All right. I'm sorry about how it's breaking. I know it's frustrating for all of you. So now the next thing is this. When people don't understand what love is, they begin to look for love in another way. And there are 4 ways people look for love. So people learn how to be sick to look for love. So what is look for love and attention? So it's a 4th personality type. So the sick person says, when something is wrong with me, people show me love. When something's wrong with me, people show me love. So this category of people, what they do? What they really, really do is that they've learned over child, maybe their brother was sick or they were sick, and when they were sick, someone showed them love, and you know what they do? They just always pretend as if something is wrong. So these people always show tantrum. They always create scenes to make sure somebody is loved. They will just go into a mood because they want attention and because they just don't really think that I can be loved that way. So they are going to pretend, they're going to pretend as if something is wrong. They never want to be happy because they want love. So they're going to pretend as if something is wrong because they just want to love them. So they will pretend as if they're unhappy. They will pretend to have some kind of challenge because all they've learned from their childhood is this: if something is not wrong with me, nobody's going to love me. So I need to pretend as if something is wrong with me and someone is going to love me. The second thing people do is this. For them to get love, people begin to do what I call, they become surpassing achievers. What are surpassing achievers? Those people say, for people to love me, I must make it in life. So you see guys that says, do you want marriage? No, 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 no. I want to make a lot of money, a lot of money. Because in their mind, the only time they've been loved is when there was someone that actually, when they did so well, that was when someone loved them. And I'm going to stop here today. I'm going to stop here today. I'm going to stop here today. I'm going to stop here today because all the Instagram people are just bombarding me on Instagram. If you have questions, just tell me and I will do a proper video, or we'll do this again next week. I'm so sorry. We will take note of this network. Any questions? Any questions? All right, any questions? I know a lot of people. So once again, please accept my apology. For some reason, I see my network is really bad today, and I would repeat this broadcast. I'll repeat this broadcast. Topsy Flora, instead of saying I'll get married this year, I would rather declare that I will find someone that will love me and we will make our home together. Because when you keep, people say things like I'll get married this year, you make the wedding the goal. You don't make real love and genuine love the happiness. Someone says, how can you allow yourself to receive love? The first thing is by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? The way you treat yourself, ask yourself, is that the way I would treat my best friend? A lot of us are very kind to other people, but we're not very kind to ourselves. So when you lose money, if your friend loses money, you will say something like, oh no, Mercy, just careful. You'll get the money back, this and this. You just have a conversation like that. But when you lose money, you're an idiot, you're foolish, you're so unintelligent. Can you imagine? You're so stupid with everything you know. We're so unkind to ourselves. The way you receive love is to stop being mean to yourself. That's the first thing. And you need to begin to speak well of yourself. I'm a good person. I'm a great person. Someone says, I'm a good person, I'm a great person. You need to, the thing, if you're not careful, most of us talk the worst about ourselves. You talk the worst, you're like, oh, I'm a terrible person, I have a nut head, nobody likes me, that kind of thing. Start saying good things about yourself. Someone says, yeah. Someone says, please, what verse says nonchalant image? You can Google it. I'm sure you'll find it right there. Yep. Someone says, is making money not necessity before marriage? Well, it depends on how you want to explain that, but before marriage, yeah. I mean, not before. So in finding a partner, there are just many steps to it. So of course, along the way, there's financial stability, but that may not be like a criteria in developing yourself. Do you choose your partner or God does it for you? You choose your partner. God does not choose partners for you. Someone says, what of age? Age is very relative because maturity is very relative. All right. Someone says, how do you draw the line between loving yourself and being arrogant? Arrogant is that you're just proud. Proud and loving yourself are two different things. All right. Someone says to find a peaceful marriage is better than rushing to marriage. Yep, I agree. Yep. So please, all of you that I can't reach today, just remember that we will reach you. All of you that can't reach you, just remember that we would do this again. All right. Sorry about the break in internet. Yep. Sorry about the break in internet. Someone says, how do I stop being desperate? So you can't stop being desperate except you know why you're desperate. You can't stop being desperate except you know why you're desperate. So if you're desperate, the question is that, why am I desperate? That's what you want to ask. Why am I desperate? That's the first thing you want to ask. So why am I desperate to marry? Why am I desperate for a relationship? Are you looking for something that's missing in your life? Why are you desperate? That's what you want to ask yourself. So why am I desperate? That's what you want to ask yourself. Yeah. Someone says, at what point will you know a relationship not leading marriage, and how long should you date for? The simple way I want to say that is that if you're traveling from, I'm going to use some example that is local, which is Lagos. If you're traveling from Lagos to Ibadan, we expect you that in 1 hour, 30 minutes, you'll be very close to Ibadan. That's what we expect. If you notice that the proximity and the time invested is not leading close to marriage, then you know you are on the wrong path. That means that there are milestones you will see, and you know that we're getting there. All right. Someone says that I'm single, I'm very available, I'm matured and doing very well as an entrepreneur and a life coach with the right mindset and all of that. My experience is that I attract well-doing men and matured I really like. I'm very picky, we like each other. Then they're interested for the first 2 or 3 weeks and they zoom off. How do I end this cycle? Because it's becoming worrisome. Have you asked those men that leave you on a honest note and say, hey, why do you guys just leave? So what it means to me, lady, is that it seems as if you are very good in attracting people, but when it seems to staying together with you, maybe there's something about them, about you, about the whole relationship that doesn't gel. I don't know. So because there are two things in relationship. There's a part of it that's attraction. There's a part of it that's also just connecting and staying together. There's connecting and staying together. You said we should, yeah. You said we should choose our partner. Can we not ask God for guidance who marry? Yeah, of course. As a Christian, you must ask God for guidance on everything. How can you choose who to marry without asking God for guidance? But the ultimate choice is yours. All right. How do I stop getting afraid of getting married? The fear, and this fear is a result of how marriages have been so far. Someone says, how do I stop the fear of bad marriages? It's very simple. Stop reading nasty things about marriages. Stop reading nasty things about marriages. Stop reading nasty things about marriages. Please, why the prophet said this is not your man? Very simple. They know that you are gullible. You go to them and they tell you all sorts of things. What are the practical ways to start loving yourself? The first thing is this: treat yourself with respect. Treat yourself with respect. Take care of yourself. So take care of yourself like you would take care of someone you respect. So if I came to see you, how will you treat me? With respect. Treat yourself the same way. Treat yourself with respect. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. How can I get, someone says, how can you not get comfortable with being single? I was in a caged relationship last month and tasting freedom is so good. I don't want to get comfortable with being single. Well, it's your decision. If you want to be single, it's great. If you want to be married, it's great. Anyone you choose is great. God supports the single people. He supports the married people. He supports both of them. All right. Any questions? Episodes, I should save the link. Most likely, I will just do a fresh video and post again. Someone says, what do you do when an elderly man gets attracted to you than your mate? Is that an issue? It all depends on you. You might just be able to handle someone that's older than you. It all depends on you. Yeah. Someone says, is it right for a woman to get into a relationship with a man 7 years younger? Is it right? But the Bible does not talk about age, so it all depends on you. How do you know I'm not supposed to marry? You will have no genuine desire. You will have no genuine desire to get married. That's what it means. Someone says, sir, answer me. I don't even know what your question is. How can I break free from a situation where I'm emotionally invested with a guy? I know he cares a lot about me, but okay, I can't see that question again. Okay, he's ready to have one. I won't let go of the other. It's making me not date anyone because I'm single. So what I think you're saying is that this guy likes you, but this and this and this. My sister, life is short. I think you should move on if you're not sure. At 39, I get to meet guys younger than me. They lead me on that they are serious, and boom, there's no word, and there's no word. Basically, what you're saying is that there's no way to continue. What I would say is this. This is what I would say. If you notice a certain pattern in a relationship, maybe you want to ask the people that break up with you what exactly is going on. Just be like, okay, I know we're not allowed together. If I'm your sister, what would you ask me to do? What do you think is going on? Yeah. Someone says, am I supposed to get married? Yeah. What do you advise about dating a divorced person? I think that it's a counseling question, not something to be dealt with online because of sensitivity. It keeps I don't know what that means. How do you know the relationship is causing to be delayed? Yeah, I think that's a counseling question because that's very peculiar to you. I have a fear of remarrying due to a divorce. How do I get help? You need counseling. You need the proper counseling. You need proper counseling. You know, you need proper counseling. We as Christians are allowed to fornicate. How do you deal with the urges when you meet the right person? I mean, just the way you deal with it as a single person. You know, what would you advise one to do if they are getting conflicting signals on making choice of a life partner? Just get cancer. Is praying to a guy? I don't know what that means. How do we get counseling? You will need to find trusted source of counsel, and start from there. Someone said, does true love exist? True love is everywhere. True love is everywhere. Someone said, how do you deal with your biological clock? How do you deal with the biological clock for women? It depends on what you mean by that. You can, so someone says you need to have a child. That means you want to have a child. So you need to ask yourself, do you want to get married or you want to have a child? They are two different things. And with technology today, they are mutually exclusive. Do you want to get married or you want to have a child? That you need to ask yourself those questions, because do you want to be happy? What about if you get married and you can't have a child? What do you get to do? Or you struggle to have a child? Would that kill you? Someone say, how do we define compatibility? As we know, these two can be negative. Of course, that's why you guys must get to know each other. All right, everybody, it's 5 minutes to 9. I will close. I promise you that we will get to redo this again because the network was so bad today, and we can take your questions again. Let me pray for you. Lord Jesus, I pray that all of our people will find love in Jesus' mighty name. I pray that you will minister to them in a very symbolic way, and they will find love. They will not be delayed. The power of delay is broken in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Thank you for your time. God bless.